What's up, guitar fans far and wide? If this reaches you, I do hope all is well. I'm Chris, and this is a session room, the place of all things guitar, and as always, I thank you so much for watching. Alright, what we have on deck today is the GODIN LGX-SA. Finally bringing you this review. It's taken a while because there's a lot of stuff to cover with this guitar. This guitar has 3 different voices. It's acoustic, it's an electric, and it's a synthesizer. And for this demo, I'm going to be plugged in just the 1/4-inch outputs. The synthesizer goes way beyond my guitar playing capabilities. But there's an individual pickup under each saddle, piezo pickup. It's controlled by these sliders here. And of course your electric pickups are controlled by your knobs here, your volume and your tone. Volume and your tone. And this is for your synthesizer. We're not using that, it just stays off. And you got your 5-voice selector switch. So without further ado, let's get into it and hear how much tones this thing has. Let's get into the parts and specs of this bad boy, shall we? Maybe a little bit of GODIN history while we're at it. Goal with each GODIN guitar is to find the perfect balance between the finest traditions of guitar crafting, the new design concepts they're developing, and the integration of the latest developments in related electronics, from the selection of the wood to the final adjustments to the finished instrument. Each GODIN guitar is designed and built by people who love guitars. Alright, LGX-SA is a multi-voice guitar, a jack of all trades, and master of all of them. The LGX-SA's incredible sound power begins with 3 distinct voices: electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and synth controller. Electric guitars are actually acoustic instruments, perhaps not particularly loud, but here, if a solid body guitar does not sound good unplugged, then it won't be saved by a great set of pickups and a great amp. There are many factors that contribute to the unplugged sound of a solid body guitar, but most of the response to the instrument comes as a result of the wood used along with fit and finish. GODIN guitars are made using only solid wood. Guitars made from plywood or particle board tend to lack sustain and can be somewhat muffled sounding. The body of the LGX-SA is made of a blend of 2 tone woods, a mahogany body capped with a figured maple carved top. For our neck we have Honduras mahogany, which has a long history as a tone wood of choice for acoustic guitar necks. The same properties that give mahogany its appeal as an acoustic guitar, namely a warm, harmonically rich sound, have a similar effect in a solid body electric guitar. For the neck, we also have the ergo cut feature, which is a shaping technique which bevels the edges of the fingerboard and frets back and towards the center of the fingerboard, providing an extremely comfortable, worn-in feel. For our fingerboard, we have ebony, and that not only contributes to a more focused sound, but also helps to optimize the guitar's synth tracking capabilities. The LGX-SA delivers electric voices via two Seymour Duncan humbucker pickups, an SH2 jazz in the neck, and a custom 3 in the bridge. Thanks to a special 5-way switch set up, extra meaty humbucker tones coexist with the classy single coil sounds in the 2nd and 4th positions. Turn down the electric volume and raise the volume on the transducer saddles, and the LGX-SA becomes an incredibly authentic sounding acoustic guitar. And it sure does. The acoustic voice of the LGX-SA is enhanced by an onboard preamp with a 3-way graphic EQ. The two outputs are set up so that the electric and acoustic voices can be blended in the guitar using a single patch cord or at the amp mixer using both outputs. The third voice on the LGX-SA comes in the form of its synth tracking, which simply put, is the best in the business. As with all of Godin's synth-ready instruments, a built-in 13-pin connector provides direct access to all Roland GR series synths, as well as most other 13-pin devices. The LGX-SA offers 3 output jacks. Output number 1 is a regular 1/4-inch electric guitar output. Number 2, 13-pin output, and is capable of carrying all 3 voices, electric, acoustic, and synth. The 13-pin cable can be used in conjunction with GR series guitar synth and most other 13-pin devices. Output 3, a dual function jack used on its own, and serves as a mixed output carrying the signal from the acoustic bridge transducers as well as the magnetic pickups. Separate volume controls on the guitar make it very easy to mix the 2 signals. We'll just have a quick refresh on the specs and features again. For the body, we have Honduras mahogany cap with figured maple carved top. For our finish, we have a polyurethane body with a satin neck. 16-inch neck radius, ebony fretboard, 22 medium frets. For our bridge, we have an RMS bridge with integrated piezo pickups. For our tuning machines, we have Godin front-loading locking tuners. For pickups, Seymour Duncan 3 in the bridge and an SH2 jazz in the neck. 25.5 scale length, truss rod double action adjustable. Our neck width is 1/11/16 and our weight is 8 pounds and 3 ounces. As the legend goes, Robert Godin went deer hunting in 1972 and came back with a guitar factory instead of a buck. Today, the company that bears his name is one of the largest stringed instrument manufacturers in North America and counts legendary players like John McLaughlin and Steve Stevens among its endorsees. By tapping into classic concepts yet constantly adding new ideas and refinements, Godin Guitars has grown into one of the largest manufacturers in North America over the last 40 years. With an annual production of 175,000 instruments across its 6 guitar brands, Godin, Siegel, Simon & Patrick, Art & Luthier, Norman, and La Patrie, the company is most decidedly not a small guitar maker. Certainly not when compared to solitary luthiers toiling away in basements, attics, and backyard shops. Yet the company retains a smaller, more boutique feel as a result of its constant striving for innovation, improvement, and responsiveness to player needs. And those characteristics are a direct reflection of founder Robert Godin's personal attitude towards instrument experimentation. In the early 1960s, amateur guitarists everywhere were struggling to replicate the sounds they heard on records. Among them was a 15-year-old Canadian named Robert Godin. Like many others, he was fascinated by the tones of the Avengers and the Beatles, but he found the majority of instruments available to him weren't suited to those styles. While working at Harmony Labs, a Montreal music store, Godin began experimenting with different string gauges, employing banjo strings on guitars and modifying other instrument components. His innovations garnered praise and word-of-mouth testimonials among local guitar players. Gradually that fan base grew to musicians from cities all across Canada. He ended up becoming the place to get mods, says Mario Bivarelli, sales and marketing manager at Godin Guitars. He had people coming from as far as wide as Toronto and Quebec City. Toronto's like 5 hours away, people talked. Oh, there's a place to go, he'll make that guitar scream. And so how the story is told, on that fateful hunting trip in 1972, Godin came across the factory for Norman Windows, a wooden frame window manufacturer that, strangely enough, also dabbled in guitars. Norman's 6-string efforts had been disappointing, but Godin became convinced he could improve the instruments. Shortly after returning home from his travels, he solidified plans to take over the factory and focus on building the guitars of his dreams. Everyone else on the hunting trip came home with a deer. Godin joked, "I came home with a guitar factory." To this day, the Norman guitar line still honors the window manufacturing facility where it all started. Fundamentals and new ground, Godin's electric lines benefit from being familiar, yet different. Stylistically, they're recognizable, yet reserved and free of cliché. The bodies, whether single cutaway, double cutaway, or another shape, follow lines associated with iconic instruments, but the brand's new interpretations of those tried and true ideas have helped the company carve out its own niche. When you pick up a Les Paul, you play it a certain way. And then you pick up a Tele, and all of a sudden, you think you're in Nashville, right? Well, with a Strat, you end up pulling out your Jimi Hendrix riffs. They find that Godin allows the artist to shine through because it doesn't have any preconceived notions of what it's supposed to be. Godin works hard to strike a balance between breaking new ground while also being rooted in proven fundamentals. It says we push, and then we reel it back in. Harkening back to the brand's early days when Robert Godin himself was driving a van around the country selling to guitar stores, Godin continues to listen to musician feedback and provide instruments that ignore conventional wisdom and preconceptions. After more than 50 years in the business, the man who started it all continues to be inspired to innovate by the sounds he loves from around the globe. Now let's get into some alone tones. Alright, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody that stayed this long to watch the video. It means the world. I just got my Godin out just to show you guys how similar the nets are with these two guitars. It's just a seamless transition. Like if you went from this guitar to this guitar, like say if you couldn't feel the body and you were blindfolded, you'd never be able to tell the difference of which guitar was which. They're both so comfortable to play, it's ridiculous. I highly recommend anything by Godin. It's always of the highest quality. But yeah, I'd like to say thank you to Chris Gillis for the loan of this guitar. The review wouldn't be made possible without him, so thank you so much, brother. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers. I'd also like to thank Johnny from the Budget Guitar Show. If it wasn't for you, brother, I wouldn't have got the influx of subscribers I've had, so thank you so much again for that. It meant the world. My heavy demo on this review is dedicated to you, brother. So anyways, keep fit and have fun, and we will see you in the next one.